We have to continue to develop our team, right? Fundamentals have got to continue to improve. The communication was better, but I think there's another level out there.
Gators and Aggies kick off on Saturday at 3:30. Live coverage on 1010XL. It's 80 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
I'm going to take all three of those lines that we just had and simply use those to say Deshaun Watson is coming to town. That's how I'm going to lead this show off. Deshaun Watson is coming to town. And are you worried or are you not? It's kind of a Wednesday worry kind of topic. As the Jaguars are trying to avoid 0-2 and get to 1-1 and start off the home regular season in a positive way. Because let's face it, fellas, not necessarily a strong showing at the bank this past year, but a chance to start off 1-0 inside Everbank Stadium and a chance to get back to 500. Welcome to XL Primetime, Hump Day, Midday. And I think actually I led off with those liners and Deshaun Watson. We should start off by Leon telling this one quick story and us remembering 9/11 because it should be still something that hits you on this particular day, no matter how far in the rearview mirror it is. Still was one of the very scary, very surreal days, and a lot of people lost their lives, and then a lot of people were called into action and answered that call. So, yeah, remembering those that we lost, 9/11. But you got to tell the story.
Well, yeah, every morning before I come to work, I go to the necessary truck stop to go get my snacks. I'm a snack man. I love snacks.
You are a snack guy.
I get snacks. So I had my snack combination, always go in there and get me a cup of, ice or whatever. So I bring it to the counter. He rings up the counter and whatever. And, my snack combination varies. So
right.
So
you're not always buying the same thing.
I'm not always buying the same thing. Okay. So I get there, the guy rings up and everything, and he says the total is 9/11. And I just paused.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's not like a huge deal, but but as soon as you told us the story, we had the same pause you had. And so anytime you do hear 9/11, anytime you see it on the
relevance,
clock.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's funny, not funny, but 9/11 has only that meaning now when you consider so many things happened on that day or that anniversary in years gone by. But now that's the only thing you think of when it comes to September 11th. And I'll just bring you back in time here if I can just pull this up real quick. And this is something that I didn't realize. I wanted to bring it up today. But this was a piece out of the TU from earlier this week. And the headline was, Hell or High Water, Beatles overcame obstacles to play 64 concert in Jacksonville. This was 1964. And that year, the way it starts out is a hurricane couldn't stop them. Segregationists didn't even slow them down. Disputes with the musicians union and some rogue filmmakers were just temporary roadblocks. The Beatles were coming to Jacksonville, come hell or high water. That was September 11th, 1964. So celebrating the anniversary, 60 years ago, the Beatles were in Jacksonville. And I'm just guessing there's probably somebody out there that remembers the story. But anyway, they came here. The crazy thing was they were inside the Gator Bowl Stadium. They played for 30 minutes, and that was it.
Like this is what I wonder. Their manager.
Yeah.
What made him think, let's go to Calford, play for 30 minutes?
I don't know, but they only played for 30 minutes. And
that's like the most random thing ever.
All right, so here it is.
Maybe on the way to Miami or something?
I guess. And it was funny because and this happened. This came in over the weekend, and I wanted to hold on to it. But it said thousands of fans having paid $4 and $5 for a ticket couldn't make it to the show because power was out in large parts of the city. The band played a 30-minute set in conditions so windy that Ringo Starr's drums had to be nailed to the stage so they wouldn't topple over. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't remember exactly when. I'd have to go back and
Bet
look
it was
at
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
Bet it
bet.
was really good.
Listen, hey, if any of you are out there that you were around then, as this marks the 60-year anniversary of it, and you remember it, by all means, hit the text line at 641-1010 and give us a memory. Of course.
30 minutes, bro. That's what 3 to 5 songs, maybe?
Yeah.
No, not for the Beatles back then. Their songs were like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah,
back
they
then.
were.
Oh,
anyway.
okay. All right.
It was
Well,
probably about at least 12 songs.
Yeah,
10,
you
that's a
12
good
songs.
set then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely a
bad.
good set.
Yeah, you could rip off a 12-song set and just have fun. And so I was not yet coming into this world, but that's just kind of crazy when you think about it. All right.
They hadn't
so,
developed yet, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
They did have a lot of 2.5-minute songs back then. Think of Motown and any of them. They were just cranking them out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right. So memories of 9/11. If you are wanting to do that, you definitely can. We might read a couple of them off the text line. You can go to YouTube. You can stream us. But certainly, I remember the day. Many people think of that day when the anniversary comes up. And so hearts and salutes go out to those family members that were affected or had loss from 9/11. That's for sure. All right. So I brought up the Wednesday worry. And here it is. It's midweek. Jaguars are getting back to work. They're coming off that 0-1 loss. You might call it one of the more stinging losses this football team's had to absorb. They went up against a good team. They were on the road. It was a playoff team. There's really nothing to hang your hat about. But they were up. They had that game, and then they lost it. And it left a pretty bad feeling, I think, for a lot of fans in Jacksonville, hoping that they could start off with a win. What's the worry going into this next game based on what you saw, 60 minutes of ball?
My worry is initially I thought was the strength of the offense, which was their tackle play. My concern is with Cam Robertson and Anton Harrison.
That's a good one.
You know, their poor tackle play in Miami. I don't look at Miami defense as distinctly as being a more physical team. I think they're more of a finesse team, and I thought for the most part this offensive line could hold serve against them, you know, don't give up any pressures, maybe run the ball in. Effectively, they did that in the first half. In the second half, I don't know if it was fatigue, mental or physical fatigue, but our tackle play was terrible, you know. So that's my worry. My worry is that those two guys who I initially thought were going to have good seasons had one bad game now.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. They had one bad game. And hopefully, you can watch the film and assess the criticism, and then get back to work on Wednesday, because this is a formidable team, especially at the end position when you got Myles Garrett. You're talking about a guy who's a top 5 player in the NFL.
Right.
Gets after it pretty good.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just stay in one position. You know, he's kind of like Chris Jones. He likes to find the weakest link, and he goes from outside left end to right end, and maybe sometimes inside. So they don't have the work cut out for them.
All right. So my worry, honestly, is one play is going to allow what happened at the end of last year to seep back into those players' minds. That's my worry. Because that fumble doesn't happen, the game's over, and it may be 31-7. It may just be a rout, that game.
Right.
And then you're saying this team's completely different this year, because if you really want to look at it, for 3 quarters, they played fantastic, other than the fumble.
Yeah.
And they played fantastic. They did everything I think they wanted to do. Now, they probably wanted to score more points and get a little more output offensively earlier in the third quarter. But for the most part, look, typically NFL games, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, it's a one-possession game. Almost all of them, okay? So that they were in that position really isn't a shock. It's just how they got there that was the shock.
Right.
I think they played really well for 3 quarters. I think they showed what they could be for 3 quarters. Now the question is, that was a big mental blow the way they lost that game.
It was.
That was a gut punch. That was whatever you want to call it. All I know is now there's, that idea of what was last year cannot seep back in, because if it does seep back in, that's going to be a problem.
Okay, so let's just sort through just a few of them real quick, because I do agree with what you're saying, just that it was a throat punch, a kidney punch. There's a lot of ways that you can describe it. But when you start to think about some of the other ones that you saw, just for the conversation, New York leaves San Francisco Monday night just kind of wondering about the overall health of Aaron Rodgers, the fact that they were supposed to have a dominating defense. Now, granted, like we discussed yesterday, they were trying to go through one of the better teams in the National Football League. So you got handled by San Francisco. You ain't the first, you ain't the last, that type of deal. But maybe a little bit of a worry about Aaron Rodgers and the defense, just a little bit. Cincinnati got to really be worried about what's going on after losing to New England. They were a decided favorite. They felt like they were going to be able to face a Jacoby Brissett that they could get to. Jamar Chase decides to play, yada, yada, yada. And we all know what happened with them. You start looking at a few of the other games when you didn't necessarily expect the outcome that you got. The Cleveland Browns got to be asking a lot of questions. Where is Deshaun Watson health-wise, performance-wise? Who truly is Deshaun Watson right now? So they got to be worried a little bit. A few other ones that lost ball games. The New York Giants, we were talking about earlier, Matt, already they're betting on Brian Dable. They were betting on Brian Dable coming into the season as one of the guys on the hot seat and maybe the first coach fired. They looked awful over the weekend against the Minnesota Vikings. So there's a handful of those. Green Bay's got to be a little bit worried about Jordan Love. Even though they probably still feel like they got a good football team, they got to be a little worried.
Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Atlanta felt like Atlanta let 5, what was it? Was it 6 field goals? Yeah, 6 field goals.
Yeah.
A team that never really could get in the end zone because Chris Boswell hit 6 field goals. 5 of them were outside of 50. That's nuts. That's another good one, too.
Yeah, even Pittsburgh with the win, they should be concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, because offensively, their defense kept them in games, but offensively, they were a dud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they didn't ask much of Justin Fields in the game, and he, I think the offense was pretty pedestrian as far as him taking his shots, but he didn't make any mistakes, and I guess that's the reason why they liked him in there.
Yeah. So there's some games that we will look at, some games we'll look back at. You guys can hit us on the text line 641-1010, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, which, by the way, we will be at Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring tomorrow from noon to 2 with our special Thursday hour. So hopefully you'll be there hanging out with us. Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show. I look out. I've already talked to my man Derek DiStefano, all the Vals except you, and he said, man, we've been taking on some rain. And, the golf gods love the 9 after 5, but we've been hit with some rain. So we'll keep an eye on that. But know this, they've got Thursday night trivia, Friday night music on the patio, and now they got a game day special over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, you can watch all the ball either after playing golf or before with a wing special and a pitcher of beer. So make sure you check that out, golfsouthampton.com. So I want to bring this up real quick as we head to break. But before that bad play happened, Tank Bigsby for 26 yards off the butt of Brandon Sheriff from the Jacksonville 29 for 26 yards. Trevor Lawrence, deep right to Gabe Davis for 22 yards. Trevor Lawrence, short pass to Travis Etienne for 12 yards. So 3 straight first down plays. Tank Bigsby for 7 yards. Then 2nd and 3, they get a penalty tossed against Miami, and they got another first down, and they're right there, 1st and 10 at the Miami 13, and we all know what happened after that. So they were cranking. And this team, as we said yesterday, had more big splash plays than anybody else in the National Football League when you're looking at yards.
Okay.
Rush yards of 10+, pass yards of
completely
20+.
Agree with you, okay? And they struggled early in the third quarter, clearly found it there, okay? But this goes to exactly what I was saying, that play, hopefully that doesn't resonate and become something because the next, after that fumble, okay?
Yeah.
They had 3 opportunities to score, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You went 4 plays, 7 yards. You went 4 plays, 16 yards. You went 3 plays, negative 15 yards. So that's 12 plays, and if I'm doing my math right here, that's negative 5 and 2 yards. Yeah. 12 plays, 2 yards.
Yeah, because the 2 sacks were 4-yard loss, 6-yard loss, basically.
All I know is 12 plays, 2 yards since that fumble, okay? That's you cannot have that.
And the overall total of third down conversion. So let's get into all of it. Give us the Wednesday worry, 641-1010. You got the Browns coming to town. What are you worried about most? It could be from their side, your side, whatever it might be, or how fired up are you for a win inside the bank? Let's do it. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
They came together as a team.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Postgame Monday.
It is a game.
Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and your time at home should be stress-free. The last thing you want to worry about is a clogged drain or your hot water not working. So do what I did and call my friends at Fenwick Home Services. They can replace or repair your home's plumbing systems and fixtures fast. Fenwick offers 24/7 same-day service and can fix any plumbing problem you have. With free same-day estimates and guaranteed repairs, the pros at Fenwick Home Services get the job done right the first time. You can also save on future emergencies with $50 off any repair. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores, and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSelva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. So another Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. And you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? You know, everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. You know, when I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, on Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat, and it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels, a proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Greenlaw Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Greenlaw Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Greenlaw Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Greenlaw Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. I know that hearing another ad for Jacksonville's best promo company interrupts Jacksonville's best sports talk, but at least it isn't a political ad. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We are hanging out on a rainy Wednesday. The Golf Club of Southampton, they bring you today's show. We always look forward to the 9 after 5. And sometimes it just, the golf gods win. Sometimes. And look, we needed rain. I was talking to Tom Champion earlier. We need rain. We've been begging for rain since what? Summertime, mid-summertime, wouldn't rain, a drop. And now we got our share of rain.
We got more just from like the random little side storms from this tropical storm than the one that went right over us.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And there's been flooding in a lot of places. Listen, I'm not the type that will grow mushrooms for enjoyment. But I got
eating
some
purposes.
I got mushrooms everywhere. They are popping up everywhere. I like to reserve mine in a pint glass, but no, I don't grow mushrooms for fun. But they are everywhere because apparently we were just getting soaked. That's for sure. All right, so the Wednesday worry, we brought up the line play. Matt, you certainly, basically what does it boil down to mind-wise, mentality-wise? And then I will just follow you guys with a couple of them that popped in my head, obviously, is the suspect line play that you're talking about, the tackles that you didn't think you'd have to worry about. Now you got to worry about a little bit. Myles Garrett, that rush in, how dominant he can be. And then the other one is Tyson Campbell not being back there. You had a guy that you just paid and rewarded with a huge contract coming into this season and expecting great things, and he looked really good with the bit that we got to see him in the preseason, and he's not back there.
Did you hear what Dougie said today?
Yeah.
That he may be on IR. They don't know yet. They may put him on IR.
Right.
Which just means it's a lot worse than,
Right. Which if you're on IR, it at least signals that 4-week loss.
Minimum, right.
Yeah. And so that part will worry some Jaguar fans. There's no doubt about it, especially when you have not just what you have to face Sunday, but what you have the next couple of weeks on the road, up in Buffalo on a Monday night, off to Houston on a Sunday to follow. Those are tough, man. You go from the 23rd to the 29th with back-to-back road games against playoff teams, and you may not have one of your star guys. At the very least right now, you probably need to be thinking you probably won't have one.
That's going to be. It has to be a concern because I watched that Houston Texans game against the Colts. C.J. Stroud is efficient. He's got the weapons now. He's looking off. He's going through his progressions. He's throwing lazy. He's throwing dots. They're scoring in the red zone. And I'm no. Listen, I hate the Texans, but I got to call good. Mm-hmm. He had a phenomenal game, and us losing a component like Tyson Campbell, man, that's going to hurt. And listen, we gave up big plays too. We gave up an 80-yard and a 63-yarder. Mm-hmm. You've got to eliminate the big play possibility by other teams. And losing one of your top corners just doesn't help us.
But even with giving up those two huge plays, even after both those two huge plays, you had the lead.
Yeah.
You still could have won a game on the road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's – I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. That's going to be a problem not having him. But there are other ways you can win games. One player should not collapse an entire team.
No. And they've done a decent job in terms of creating competition behind starters. We got to remind ourselves of that because Buster Brown made this team for a reason. He does have experience. He is a little feisty. And even though you had other guys that I thought might have had a chance, a Christian Braswell, some of the other guys, they basically have put him in a position where he was asked to do this last year. And we know that the results weren't great last year, but that's another year of experience of Buster following Tyson Campbell in his footsteps. And then also Jari and Jones drafting him in the 3rd round, DeAndre Prince in the 5th round. Drafting these guys to make sure you got a better secondary on the back.
And that's another thing that I like that Nielsen did, especially during the preseason, because he had all these different components of guys playing in different positions. The packages that he's putting together. Yeah. And Coach Campbell had talked about it. The packages, the mix and matches between zone and man and all that kind of stuff, the blitz packages, the 4-man packages. Hell, I saw Devin. We was talking about this before the season started. Yeah. Devin Lloyd, getting him in the mix, as far as a pass rusher goes. Yeah, work on that spin move, though. I saw him on the guard. The guard, he ate up that spin move. You got to get upfield first before you start the spin move. But, yeah, he's getting the opportunity to kind of be disruptive, so that's a good thing. The different packages that Nielsen is putting together, to keep the offense on his toes.
Yeah, I like that. That's for sure. All right, 641-1010. You guys can jump in on that front. We mentioned 9/11, the anniversary, and I hope that you'll take just a bit of time to remember those that we lost. But this is off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I was an Army reservist on 9/11. I was on my civil job in the break room when the second plane went into the tower. I knew at that moment my life was going to change forever. Later on, phone rang in my job's workroom. Voice on the other end of the phone was my unit's UA sergeant with a ranging bull alert. My life was changed from that point. I was in Iraq from 2003 to 2004. So, look, we salute all of you who have served, who asked for the ultimate sacrifice from your country, and you answered the bell. That's for sure. No question about it. All right, so I want to get to one little college thing before we get into the rest of the 2 o'clock hour. We'll stay on the Jags. You guys can hit us with your comments, but one more college football topic to think about. We're only 2 weeks into the season. We're only 2 weeks in. We've seen some surprises. We've seen some upsets. We've seen some validations, all kinds of good ball that we've seen. Georgia just beating the hell out of Clemson, and then an easy cake game this past week, and now getting ready for Kentucky next. And then, of course, you got all the other games that we've been talking about. Notre Dame losing at home to Northern Illinois. If you had to name a team that a week ago you had in the college football playoff, top 12, that you don't have this week, it's Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one
Oregon.
And Oregon. The other one might be Oregon in some people's minds. But who has played their way out of the college football playoff just 2 weeks into the season? Has Notre Dame, or have they not? They still have plenty of good games ahead of them.
Yeah.
But a loss at home to a non-Power 4, that was not good.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. But if you look at their schedule, the one thing that they can hope for is that USC stays on top.
Mm-hmm.
So when do they play USC, Matt? Do you know?
Usually
last game
of the season. Yeah. If USC is still balling out, and they somehow run the table and get to that game, and they can beat them impressively. I don't even think if they beat a top USC, if they're top 10, and they don't lose anymore, that may be the opportunity to get them in. Because
I mean, yeah, they could be 10-2 and still get in. They could be 10-1 in that going in that game,
right?
Which a lot's got to happen right now, but they could be, and they could even lose that game close and still get in.
Right.
That's what There's a lot more latitude right now than what has been in the past, and I think people haven't fully grasped how much more latitude there is. You also have to understand, what if NIU wins out and NIU is the Group 5 champ? Then that's going to be on their resume too. It's a loss, but it's a loss to a playoff team.
Yeah, and so that's what you kind of got to figure out is which of these will rise to the challenge, or which of these now all of a sudden you're learning a little bit about them and they're not ready.
Yeah, and Notre Dame is a brand. All right, and like you said, if Notre Dame is 10-1, they lose to USC, and it's a close game, they'll still be in. It's a brand. They want eyes on them. Absolutely, they'll keep Notre Dame.
All right, Florida State mentioned on the text line. Certainly no question about that. 0-2 start. Something
They're not out.
Yeah,
they win the ACC. They're
exactly.
in.
Something nobody really expected, but
they're not running the table though.
Right. The biggest worry for them. The biggest worry for you heard the joke that's been making the rounds.
What's that? What's the joke?
You can't spell Norvell without 2 L's. I did not make that up.
I love
did
it.
not make that up.
I love it. I'm going to use that, by the way.
Why would you do that?
I did not make that up.
I love
but
it.
Florida State is definitely one of the teams that you might have penciled in to a college football playoff spot. The damning thing for them is they're both losses inside the conference. That's the worst thing for them. But like Matt just said, you still can take care of business. There are others in front of you inside the ACC, and it may be a conference that's only getting one team in. Who knows? We'll see how
Well, they
that
don't
goes.
control their own destiny because they're going to need multiple losses. Like they're going to need Clemson or Miami to lose twice and one of the losses to be to them.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, they need some help, but it's not out of the question. No, not at all. Unless, with DJU still playing quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably still out of the
And by the way, there are teams right now wondering what they're going to do at their quarterback position, and Mike Norvell up in Tallahassee is probably one of them. We'll say a little Rick Ballou in the 3 o'clock hour on that subject coming up in just a bit. It's XL Primetime Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. They always got a great golf experience for you, and you can count on that game day special Saturday and Sunday, wings and a pitcher of beer. They got a great deal set up for you. And inside the clubhouse, you can always enjoy watching all the ball after playing a good round of golf. So make sure you check them out. Thursday night trivia, Friday night music on the patio with also a great menu to go along with it. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Big Sirs here. My cigars are back in stock at Island Girl Gate Parkway. Buy a box and I will autograph it for you. Island Girl Gate Parkway is the place to enjoy a great cigar selection, a full bar, enjoy a daily happy hour from noon to 7 and all day Sunday. Enjoy college and NFL games from noon to 6. When you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free. Plus, live music Friday and Saturday nights. For upcoming events, follow Island Girl Gate Parkway on Instagram and Facebook at islandgirl.gateparkway.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 11, 1927, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth hits 50th home run during his MLB record 60 home run season in New York's 6-2 loss to the St. Louis Browns.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. And don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Canes rolled another in-state foe after taking down FAMU 56-9 on Saturday. Cam Ward once again put on a show, racking up 304 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air and adding a rushing touchdown. Ball State is next for the Canes. The Miami Hurricane Report, brought to you by Performance Painting.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
You're ready to upgrade your home and save big? Now's the perfect time with Renewal by Anderson. For a limited time, it's buy one, get one 40% off on all windows and doors. That's right, buy one, get one 40% off plus flexible financing options to fit your budget. Our custom-built energy-efficient windows and doors are made with Vibrex, 2 times stronger than vinyl, giving you the durability you need and the savings you want. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to book your free consultation today. Don't wait, this offer won't last. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613. Proud partner of the Florida Gators.
Roland Reese Plumbing, one of the great stories for me, because I needed them and they were there. And that's how simple it is. A plumber, you call them when you got a leak and you can't wait a week. Roland Reese came through. My water heater was just on bust, and it was leaking out, and he said, don't worry about it. We've got what it's going to take to get there stat. They were in there within a day's time, replaced a big old water heater, made sure I had warm water. I wasn't taking any cold showers. They can do it for you as well. 24/7 emergency service available where quality and experience count. Remember, log on plumbingjacksonville.com and check out Roland Reese Plumbing. Life has its share of challenges, and when it puts you to the test, make sure you reach out to Rebound Rehabilitation to give you the quickest path back to full health and confidence. Rebound Rehab, specializing in helping patients overcome back pain and sciatica, arthritis, and fibromyalgia, just to name a few. Rebound Rehab, locations covering the entire First Coast, getting you back in control with a pain-free life. Sports injury, workplace injury, whatever it might be, you can rebound. Log on to reboundrehab.com for more info.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson addressed the media this morning ahead of Week 2 against the Browns. Peterson was asked where he wants to see improvement from the Jags from Week 1.
Well, the mistakes that we made, the subtle things, the communication issues offensively, even some of the communication things defensively. Have we corrected those, right? And we won't know again until we get out on the practice field on Sunday. So those are the things that, and then ball security. We got to create takeaways and we got to take care of the football. And, I think if we do that, it definitely helps your chances.
The Jaguars host the Browns in the home opener Sunday at 1 o'clock, right here on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
3 o'clock hour coming up with our man Rick Ballou. We got 20 minutes before that talking Jaguar football, college football. Definitely loving it that we're already into Week 3 of the college football season, full tilt. And then Week 2 of your NFL slate with the Jags coming home. A 1 o'clock kick against the Cleveland Browns. One of our checkers says, ball control, ball control, ball control. ETN and Washington had 2 major drops to a team that has had less than 10 forced fumbles this past year. And Parker Washington was able to cover it back up. We know that. But we just mentioned the click, 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 click offensive yardage piling up on that one drive before that fumble, how good it was, how positive it was. I think most people coming out of the first week, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Positivity here with this one, but a lot of people had to come out of that first game saying, oh, man, this looks different. This looks better. This looks like this team has explosive capabilities with what Gabe Davis was doing down the field. Of course, what Brian Thomas Jr. was doing down the field without Evan Ingram really even getting fully involved in this game. With a couple of drops from Christian Kirk, you had some big plays that were manufactured out of the Teal offense.
Yeah, the question you have to ask is what happened afterwards.
I know.
I mean, what mental breakdown? Because everybody was there physically, so it had to be in between the ears. What mental breakdown allowed them not to execute and be as efficient as they were before the fumble? Mm-hmm. That's what's more concerning to me than anything. Is that their lack of productivity after the fumble? It's almost like they imploded. It's like oh, here we go again. That kind of stuff. You can't have that kind of stuff in the game. You've got to find a way to overcome it and whatever. Listen, we reverted right back to our old ways of last year. That's what's concerning to me, is that we, in certain situations, we implode. Instead of us finding a way, digging ourselves out the ditch, we just laid there and took it. And I don't like that.
Yeah. You don't like any of that.
Nah,
that's for sure.
I don't like that, man.
But that's the test. If you start looking at the possibility of 0-2 teams, Jacksonville included, there's a lot of teams that will be looking up at a tough hill to climb to make it to the postseason if they drop the second game. Cleveland being one of them, Jacksonville being one of them, Cincinnati. We mentioned the other teams that are facing that 0-2 prospect that you would never have expected. In other words, there was chatter of playoff spots.
Yeah, and you don't want to go 0-2 going on the road back-to-back like that, because then now you're desperate and you're pressing. And you got two formidable teams that are clicking on all cylinders right now. You don't want that.
It's for some reason I'm the guy that's trying to be positive here. I think the first three quarters of that game Sunday should be a very, very positive idea in people's heads of what this team can be. But again, I go back to, I don't think it's physical with this team anymore. I think it's mental. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was mental at the end of last season. And our coach, Dave Campo, he even said to me, he thought it was mental. He said if he were the coach, he would have, at some point during the last 6 games, would have stuck him in a hotel somewhere for a couple days before the game. Yeah. Just change up the routine, I think it's mental. I don't think it has anything to do with physical. I think they've got players to win games, to win 10, 11 games, to win a division title. I don't know about a deep run in the playoffs, but I think they have enough to get to the tournament. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's funny because we were talking about overreaction yesterday with the Jets losing to San Francisco, and if we think that this team either has, like you're saying, it might be mental. I'm not going to go overboard. I'm not going to overreact with anything based on one game that I saw. The one mental mistake that I think that was made more than any other was the decision to go for it on 4th down at your own 32. Okay. That, to me, was a mental mistake.
Yeah, my mental concerns go 6 games prior the previous season.
I get it.
That's my whole thing.
But here's, and I'm not, like I said, this is always a good discussion because we're not saying one's wrong and the other's right. The beautiful thing is that you are trying to end that 6 of 7 L's for this franchise, which is never good. But the guys that they brought in, Darnell Savage made his share of plays. Certainly Gabe Davis made his share of plays. Brian Thomas Jr. did as well. That interior offensive line did a good job for the most part. And we all know, as Coach says, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays every game, you can point to them that end up costing you. So you can't say, hey, we were 80, 85% good. You can't say it. I get that if the scoreboard says you lost. But there was just a lot of positives, I think, to pull out of this game going forward, as opposed to what a Cleveland is thinking, what a Cincinnati is thinking, maybe some of these other teams in the AFC. That's the only way I'm looking at it right
missed opportunities. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they rectified them on Monday when you watch the film, and then now you make the corrections, and now Wednesday you go about your business of beating the Browns. Mm-hmm. And this team, in my opinion, has enough enough of an arsenal to beat the Browns. Right. Especially what I saw what I saw from the Browns against the Cowboys. Now I know the Cowboys got a talented roster,
right,
and they get after it pretty good. But I mean, it was crazy. I mean, they made the game respectable in the second half, but for the first half, the Cowboys just dominated, and they were at home. And I'm talking about that offensive line play, the 2-tackle play. I mean, they were just getting run by. If you're at home and you're giving up that kind of pressure at home, where you don't have to deal with noise or silent count and all that kind of stuff, that was alarming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no getting away from it. That's for sure. All right, so let's just do it right now. A bold fact, since we are on the Jaguars, we'll go ahead and make it that with this question.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
All right, you can definitely check them out any day of the week. You know, they have their great hours for the afternoon craft lovers, and then into the night. You can definitely find them on Roselle Street in Riverside. The production house is always a great place. You can enjoy that fantastic menu along with all that great craft, and then definitely check out Bold City downtown. If you are heading to the game on Sunday, they are right there on Bay Street, so make sure you take advantage of that. Anytime you're out and about, you can order up a Duke's, a Duval Light, whatever it might be. If it's not on tap, ask for it. That way you can let them know that you're supporting the local brew. Wednesday special, slider, basket, specials, trivia, and BOGO wine. So make sure you enjoy that. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars getting ready for their home opener. Who do they have the best winning percentage record over as far as the rest of the NFL is concerned? Who does Jacksonville have a better record against in the rest of the National Football League? Okay? Who is it?
I'm going to go Colts.
I was thinking
Colts?
I was thinking Colts, too.
And I'll just give you the number. They have a .632 winning percentage against this team.
632.
Yeah, .632 winning percentage. So who do they own the best record against opposing NFL team?
Lifetime, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, this could be a Joe thing when it's the Browns.
It could be.
Because he likes to do this.
Yeah.
Colts is that high. I'm going to pull back on my Colts pick.
Because, remember they had Peyton, too, now.
Yeah.
And look.
Yeah. I'm going to pull back on that pick.
The Browns has...
Steelers?
Steelers might be it. It still is. Even with Big Ben,
Yeah.
we had... I'm going to go Steelers. I like that. I'm going to go Steelers.
Shoot.
Ravens. We own the Ravens.
I'm going to go with the Browns because I think this is a Joe pick. I'm going to go with the Browns.
You on the Browns? I'm going to go with Ravens. I think it's the Ravens.
All right. I love it. I love it. He at least sniffed it out right there because I was doing it for a reason. Sometimes you got to do it for a reason. And they own the best win percentage against the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you, Sam Pittman. How many teams are that they actually have a better?
Well, I'm going to give you a couple of other numbers. I don't have all of them.
Better win percent.
But just to give it away right now, the point differential against the Browns is 123 to the good. So they are they have had a lot of success against Cleveland. Now, I'll remind you, Leon, this goes back to the AFC Central days. And so when they have a .632 winning percentage, they've seen them through the years. You go back from 95 to 2000, which you were a part of you were a part of one. Let's see here. You were part of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the games. Anyway, they rattled off the first 6 games in their franchise history with wins against the Cleveland Browns. That's pretty good. So, yeah, they own the Cleveland Browns, and you need to keep owning the Cleveland Browns right now if you can. So there you go, a bold fact. And if they can do it again, then they'll be back in position to start to go on the road with a little confidence against a Monday night Buffalo Bills team up there in Buffalo land, and then out to Houston to take on the Texans. Now, they lost a game last year. We know that in December, a high-scoring game. And that was when Trevor was trying to nurse through that bad ankle injury and kept playing, and we all know what happened after that. So they've got a chance. We'll take a look at the injury report that will be coming a little bit later on today with not only your Jags, but also with the Cleveland Browns. Speaking of injuries, with Mr. Man, Dr. George Barry normally pops in on Wednesday. We'll try and get him at the end of the week or on Breaking Bones on Sunday. So we always appreciate him dropping by. So we start taking a look at the injury report. What's happening with Deshaun Watson? What's happening with some of the other guys on that team? We will do that coming up. But first, when we get into the 3 o'clock hour, FSU, they are taking on Mike Norvell's old team in Memphis. That one scare you if you're an FSU fan? I wonder if it should scare you just a little bit because
Seth Hennigan's a good quarterback, man. They can score points.
Yeah.
They can't play defense, but they can score points.
So you're saying that maybe half of that Memphis team might give Florida State a little confidence.
Maybe.
If they can get it going offensively against what you describe as not so hot Memphis defense. But defensively, does Florida State have what it takes to turn things around?
I'm saying DJU better play a lot better is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick off the text line in the college world, the Irish cannot lose 2 games and get in the playoff. No way. Another one text. Northern Illinois could be the 12th seed, and I did put them in my XLP to the CFP top 12 yesterday. Another one, Notre Dame, consistently the most overrated team ever.
I don't disagree with those 2 texts at all. Yeah. All I'm telling you is, yes, they can still make the playoff.
Yeah, they probably can. And real quick, as we head to the top of the hour, one of our texters, we love him, ball control. They make pills for that. It's XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. In every game, there's a guy who just makes plays.
He's their best home run hitter, an elusive generational type back.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Hicken here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Everyone who puts on a high school football uniform dreams of Friday Night Glory.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, Friday Night Lights.
Join Hacker and Andrew Gibson, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, we recently had a job transfer and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Welcome to ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox and HP copiers. From IT management to VoIP phone systems, Advanced Business Solutions is the right name to know.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Summer's here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by JEA. Yesterday, after the FSU Seminoles practice as they gear up to face Memphis this Saturday, head coach Mike Norvell spoke to the media, previewing the matchup and what he has seen from the guys in practice.
You know, obviously playing Memphis, there's some similarities, but then there's also some differences. You know, defensively, this is probably one of the more unique defenses we're going to face, on just how they disperse their personnel. For us, it's a lot of different looks. So obviously working through all that. But I thought the guys picking up what we're asking them to do and we got to continue to develop upon that throughout the course of the week. I thought the guys came out with good intent. I thought there were some good competitive periods and opportunities for us, and obviously we had to build on that throughout the course of this week for Saturday.
The Noles and Memphis face off in Tallahassee Saturday at 12 o'clock. It's 79 degrees at 3 o'clock time, and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now, the Seminole Point of View with Rick Ballou. Brought to you by Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Dream it, drive it.
Well, we're going to talk to our man, the truth teller, when it comes to all things Noles. He's the man, and Into the Night. You can check him out later on today, 6 o'clock. But right now, it's game week, and they're trying to get to the win column. Rick, how you doing, buddy?
Joe, everything's great today. It really is. Midweek, almost mid-month, and, a ton of pressure on Mike Norvell. If he doesn't win this game against Memphis, can you imagine what the feedback is going to be, the negative feedback with Seminole fans if they don't get it done at noon on Saturday.
And we brought it up earlier, Rick, as we were teasing it. The idea that that's the place Florida State hired Mike Norvell from. So Memphis to Florida State, huge jump up. You can't look at that game and not think that they better handle their business against Memphis.
Yeah, there's really no other way around it. You have to win, and you hope you win. I'd love to use the word convincingly, but I mean, the way they played so far in Memphis is a fearless team with that 3-3-5 defense that they'll employ at times. I don't know a great deal about Memphis, but they've been dominant in their first couple of opportunities so far this year. But I look at it this way. For Memphis, it's their Super Bowl. This is the game they've had circled all season long. They win this, and all of a sudden, you know, they're one of those schools that has an opportunity to maybe get that fifth conference title. They won't get a first-round bye, but they have an opportunity to sneak into a 12-team college football playoff. And for Florida State, I mean, the pressure on Norvell right now, it's kind of foolish to use the term must win, but as far as his fan base, it is coming up on Saturday.
Now, Rick, you know, both sides of the ball have been quite underwhelming, very surprisingly underwhelming. You know, how does Norvell simulate toughness as far as getting the offensive line back on track and the defensive line back on track?
Yeah, I mean, a little less rotation would be nice, and that's happened because they had an injury, at right tackle with Byers last week against Boston College. But the offensive line, to me, has been incredibly disappointing. Not as disappointing as the defensive line, because I think we would agree that all four of their starters are projected to be NFL players. But this was supposed to be the best offensive line that they've had, and they can't run the ball. And then you look at DJ Uiagalelei, of course, is statuesque back in the pocket. So, it has been ripped apart from them right now. Alex Atkins has been out for the first couple of games. He will not be there again on Saturday. He'll sit out the remainder of his 3-game suspension. I know you know this, Leon, and the gentleman next to you as well. It is so important to have your offensive line coach on the sideline. I mean, you can make a case that that's the deal for every position coach, but I've always been one of those who believes that the secondary coach and the offensive line coach are especially important in game. And I don't know if he's going to bring extra toughness. Maybe he can help out as far as technique, but you're right. They haven't been tough. And that's a surprise considering all the starts that they have. Really, all 8 of the guys that they play have, more than 25, 30, in some cases, more than 40 career starts.
So, Rick, this is basically where we are right now with this offense. How long does it take before Mike Norvell sees more bad from DJU before he says, all right, it's got to stop. We got to go to Brock Glenn, or you got to go to Kroenke or whoever. At what point do you think in this game, if they struggle again and they're down 7-0 or 10-0 again, when does he make the move?
It's interesting. I think it all depends on what happens. As bad as DJU was against Boston College, they had 7 drops. I mean, Kyle Morlock had 3 drops. Lawrence Toafili had 2 drops. I don't think Morlock had any drops last year. So I get it. The quarterback's going to be the one who gets blamed. I don't think it's entirely his fault, and also the fact that they can't run the football. But I think you're going to have to at some point. Right now, Mike Norvell is thinking DJ Uiagalelei is the best chance to win this game. If you were to talk to fans, they'd say Brock Glenn. I happen to be a guy who believes that Luke Kromenhoek is going to be their only hope right now. He, I think, is going to be the best quarterback out of the 3. But I'm sure this is something that Norvell has had long conversations with his staff about and DJU with. There doesn't appear to be any leadership. I mean, when you see him on the sideline, it almost looks like it's a job for DJU, and that he's under a lot of pressure. And I know he got paid from the NIL, but it doesn't seem like he's enjoying himself. He doesn't show a lot of emotion either way. The quick hook, I would be really surprised by that, Matt. I would. I don't think it's going to happen, only because I believe that Mike Norvell thinks DJU is still the best chance for this football team to win a game, he's their quarterback.
We're talking with Rick Ballou at Ballou 1010XL on social. Into the night, 6 o'clock on the Superstation coming up later on. The big throws that he makes, you're like, wow. And then you're like, more of that if you're a Seminole fan. And then you see doubt creep into his eye. His body language just completely changes. It's strange watching him, Rick. It's like he's doubting himself, just like lacking confidence or something.
Well, he really doesn't do anything right. I mean, I've never seen a quarterback who does it all with his arm. He's got no core. And, I think we talk about it more in baseball when, you're a pitcher and your lower body. But this guy solely – I mean, we saw that great pass by Anthony Richardson last week that went more than 60 yards off his back foot. You watch DJU, he does not put his lower body into his throwing motion at all. And he had 40 career starts when he got to Tallahassee. I got to sit here and think, why did Mike Norvell miss out on this? And I think a part of it that really needs to be discussed a little bit is how they miss Kenny Dillingham. The incredible improvement of Jordan Travis, a lot of that, especially early in his career, because Dillingham's been gone for a couple of seasons now, obviously at Arizona State, as a head coach, he really worked hard. And Jordan Travis's improvement, Mike Norvell is going to get all the credit for that, and he deserves credit. But Dillingham was a big part of that. And mechanically right now for DJU, he doesn't do it the way that you are supposed to. And then once again, he's got absolutely zero mobility. Brock Glenn will give you that. I don't think Brock Glenn throws a football as well as DJU, but he is a guy who does have some escapability.
Now, Rick, before the season started, I mean, this Seminole team had a litany of superstars on both sides of the ball. Hell, even NFL draft status. I mean, give me a guy on the offensive side and the defensive side who came in with all this expectation and just hasn't lived up to the billing.
I think the highest regarded offensive player right now, maybe Darius Washington, who's played every offensive line position and a left tackle. He's an all-ACC guy. I'm trying to think skill position-wise. I'll give you, we wondered about these backs. Toa Feely's the guy that you put him anywhere on the football field, and whether he's a tailback or he's in the slot. And remember what he did on that opening drive against Georgia Tech. That was the best drive that Florida State has had this year. And Toa Feely was certainly involved. I don't know if any of these wide receivers are NFL-bound wide receivers. I haven't seen enough yet out of Benson to have a firm opinion there. Certainly the 3 redshirt senior wide receivers that Florida State has had there for 5 years. I don't think any one of them would be labeled as an NFL prospect. Defensively, it would have to be the line, and you can pick really any one of the 4. I think I'm going to single out Patrick Payton. His body language looks awful. It also appears that he can't be in there as a guy against the run. He almost looks like a unique Ngakoue where, he's a 1-down or 2-down defensive end that is going to play only in obvious pass rush situations. He cannot set the edge. I mean, the guy has like 1 or 2 tackles in 2 games, and he's just looked horrible against the run. So, yeah, that would be my biggest disappointment so far. Patrick Payton, you look at him and his length. I mean, he's got the NFL written all over it, but it has not been a good start for him.
Rick, how do they get to, and is it as simple as when they needed that touchdown drive against Georgia Tech, they spread it out, they threw the ball, he looked good. I mean, are we at the point now where we're going to be like, all right, let's start there, okay, and then build around that?
You would hope so, but they didn't start that way against BC.
Right.
And BC ran it 52 times. BC just ran it down their throat, and they don't make any adjustments. They stayed in that 4-2-5. I mean, BC wasn't passing. Put in an extra defensive lineman. Put in a third linebacker, even though it's by far the worst linebacking core I've ever seen at Florida State. I know it's so easy to throw out words like ever, but that's the truth. I have never seen such a poor linebacking core as to what Randy Shannon's group has right now over at Florida State. So maybe that's the reason why. But keeping two safeties back is a problem. And, the end result of that is that they're getting absolutely destroyed as far as the time of possession. But, Matt, they got to try something. I mean, you go back to that first drive against Georgia Tech. Again, we've said it now twice. It was the best drive of the season. And then their defense gave up a touchdown immediately. But look what Florida State did the second time they came out on offense. They rotated in 3 offensive linemen after that impressive drive, and they went to 5 overall tailbacks. Not wide receivers, but tailbacks. 5 different tailbacks in the first quarter. And, it's almost like Mike Norvell was thinking, let's keep Mama, let's keep Daddy happy, and, forget about everything else. You don't do that at this level. So that bit them immediately, and they're still licking their wounds after that.
Yeah, it's the truth. All right, dude, you got plenty coming this afternoon, 6 o'clock into the night on that front, and, of course, the Jags, I'm sure.
Joe, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Right at 6:22, we're going to bring in Tim Brando for some college football there with my weekly conversation with Fox Sports' Timmy B. And then John Osher at 7 o'clock talking Jaguars football. It's only 3:12 right now. I am already totally fired up for 6.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, man, appreciate it. We'll be listening.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Rick Ballou at Ballou 1010XL. And so, yeah, it coming out of that game against Boston College, and Bill O'Brien outcoached Mike Norvell in a lot of ways, because you would just probably agree on the face he did more with less. Would you agree with that? Just on the face, based on what he inherited. And then, like Rick just said, he called run play after run play after run play and was just extremely effective with his sequencing.
I think he coached a great game. That's number one. Yeah. Number two, and this is what I was trying to talk with Rick about, is the idea of if you can't sustain an offense, you're asking a lot of your defense, especially when you're playing an offense like BC that has showed right away they can run the ball on you.
Yeah.
So if you can't help your defense and keep them off the field a little bit so they can rest, man, they're going to get run all over. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. So that's what happened against Georgia Tech, too. Same thing.
Yeah.
The offense couldn't sustain drives, and Georgia Tech, meanwhile, when they got the ball, sustained drives.
Yeah, 2 good run teams or use the run game.
Yes. They have to do something to sustain drives. And if that means you start out in 4 wide or 5 wide just to get DJU going a little bit, man, you got to do what you got to do at this point.
By the way, both of those were running quarterbacks. Real tough to handle if they kind of get it going, which is what Hanks King did. And then Castellano, we know, got it going.
Shanahan's not really
he
could break a little, but he's not like Castellano.
No. But I'm just saying, he took off when he needed to. Obviously, that run to get the lead late in that game, he definitely did that.
But Matt, if you're Memphis and you've watched the film in the last 2 weeks of Florida State, I mean, you take their heart out by running the ball level.
Yeah, you do. Yes.
Yeah. I know you said Memphis can throw the ball.
They throw it all over the place, but why would you not say, all right, let's run the ball?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, Mike Norvell, I don't know whether, depending on how it goes, if he's going to try and call back Alabama, I don't know. I have no idea. But he was one of the first guys that they were coming after when Nick said no. And just all of a sudden, this exodus of talent, because he sent a lot of good ones off to the National Football League. And he's probably reeling right now looking for answers.
Did Alabama call him, and does his agent use it? Alabama wanted to get
We'll never know. We'll never know. I'm watching 30 for 30 last night, and I'm seeing Drew Rosenhaus all over it. I can't help but think of agents and how they can affect the outcome of certain things. All right, listen, I want to bring this up real quick. My man Harley from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living, he's a diehard Jag. So he goes down, he makes the trip to Miami. I'm going to read what he said coming up here just a bit, see if Jaguar fans agree with this, because it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. They had everything going their way in that game, and then all of a sudden, just like that, it seemed like it went away. So we'll get back to you, Jags, on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Every team has bumps and bruises, but a major injury can shake the season.
Let me know if he's ever going to play football again, or do I need to find me another wide receiver?
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville
on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence looked to give Jacksonville an early lead against Miami, and he'd do just that while showing grace under pressure. Lawrence led the squad on a 6-play, 96-yard drive, capped off by a Travis Etienne 1-yard touchdown, giving Jacks a 7-0 lead in the opening period. The 3-minute, 18-second drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What?
Huh? I'm so over this."
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this. Call State Farm agent Jason Judy, 416-1732.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Baseball collectors will be thrilled this week with 2024 Bowman Chrome Baseball on shelves. Like anything Bowman, it'll be about the chase for Chrome prospect autographs. Now out, it's Bowman Chrome Baseball. Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Hayes Carline here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week. You'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize: 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool.
Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Your system worked hard all summer long to keep you cool. Give it a spa day. Schedule a system tune-up. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
That's this league. It happens. I mean, it sucks, and you want to do everything you can to not let it happen. And 100%, we should have won the game. Self-inflicted things. That's why we lost, and we gave it away in our opinion. But we know that, and you can't do that in this league. And that's where credit Miami. They made the plays, so you can't ever take anything away from another team because we've been in that same position where we've won games like that.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That's your quarterback. That's 16, Trevor Lawrence. That cut from earlier, the presser with Trevor Lawrence, the cut courtesy of Jaguars.com. You like hearing that?
That's called a real pill.
He said we should have won that game, 100%.
No, well, more than that is the self-inflicted.
Yeah.
You had the game under control. You were controlling the whole tempo of the game, and then the turnover, you just imploded.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of that, he's probably reminding himself, give the other team credit. He said, give them credit. They did what they had to do to win. But we need to see that attitude from him, don't we? I think.
Yeah. Matt, here you go. Go ahead, do it.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm just, I think it's great. He said we should have won the game. But
rally this.
Look, man. I mean, they said the same things last year. The last 6 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, I look. At some point, they've got to go do it. They've got to be a team that looks at each other and says, "All right, this is a bunch of bleep, bleep, bleep.
Right.
Let's go get this done."
Right. Well,
they showed in 3 quarters that they are a team that could be potentially an elite team.
Yeah.
And then that last quarter, you cannot crumble in the NFL like that at the side of adversity. Yeah. And they crumbled.
Yeah, and like I said, I like to hear him speak it into existence and sound a little angry and see if it brings about good things as opposed to making excuses. That I will 100% go along with.
Well, here's one more thing I want to say real quick, and I know we got to go to another subject, but yesterday Doug Peterson said, we got to coach that better. But he's not going to – so he's calling out Ryan Nielsen, okay?
Yeah, he said we got to coach that play because that's the one that –
Yeah, but he's calling out his coaches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind to hear him call out a player every once in a while. And I know that's – Leon says all the time, you can't do that in the NFL.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind hearing that every once in a while.
And look, we've gone down that road where he has said Trevor's got to play better. He hasn't done it, emphatically. The fact that he did call his coach out was maybe a little surprising. It was kind of a departure from Doug because Doug's style isn't that necessarily. So he probably is feeling a little heat, a little angst.
I mean, I would love to hear him step up there and say, look, we cannot crumble at the first sign of adversity.
Yeah.
That's how
I got no problem with that.
You can't win games in the NFL like that.
So my man Harley, CSS, Fireplaces and Outdoor Living, he's one of the diehard supporters of 1010XL. And he said, me and a couple of buddies drove down to the game Sunday. Jags were looking great. After that fumble, it seemed like the wind just left our sails. And so that's the part that he said, I can't understand it. He said, play calling, a little more aggressive. What happened? And then basically said it's baffling at the end. And I answered back, baffling is a good way to describe it because things were going well. And so now you got to chain them together. Who are you going to be, Leon, right? How are we going to be viewed by the rest of the league, by our fan base, by everybody? We can change the narrative.
Well, here's the thing. Situationally, all these guys that played, outside of the rookies, situationally, if you played in this game long enough, you're going to face adversity. And so this is nothing new to anybody that played in that game. The response is the most disheartening thing for me, the response to it. You know, I mean, I've been in games, interception, pick six, fumble at the goal line. Get over it.
Right.
Get over it. Make the adjustments, come back and get over it, get the job done. The end game is the win. All right? The end game is the W. That's the end game. You play this game long enough, you're going to see. I've been a part of pick sixes. I've been a part of fumbles on the goal line. I've been all that kind of stuff. Sacks, strip fumbles, all that. The end game is, did you get the W? That's the end game.
Like I told you, that Saucy from earlier in the week, first time in 45 years, 3 teams trailed by at least 14 and came back to win opening week. And Miami, unfortunately, was one of them that came back. Buffalo came back. They're going to face each other tomorrow night. Chicago was down 17 and came back. In Chicago, it's just crazy what they were able to do, forcing Tennessee into mistakes or taking the kickoff back. You know, a variety of things happened to go in their favor. But, yeah, you got to answer the bell, man, somehow, some way.
I mean, it's not just football. It's life, man. When adversity hits, you got to answer.
Yeah.
You can't just crumble and say, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah. And the thing is that something, let's just use real life as an example. You may go away from whatever that bad thing that there's 16 more games. They got to show up. They got to play. And
guess what? You go away from that bad thing in life, it's still there.
Right. Like I'm watching a little bit of Aaron Rodgers, his hit with Pat McAfee, and he was he wasn't explaining away a bad loss. He wasn't doing that. He was kind of going in that RELAX, that relaxed mode,
right.
Which is fine. That is kind of what you're supposed to do. You can't just.
Well, he also has a little track record.
Yes. He's been able to pull.
He's
teams.
Ron, okay?
Yeah, he's been able to pull bad. He's been able to pull good out of a bad.
It's a lot
start.
easier for him to say, "Hey, man, relax, we're good."
Well, I'll give you one quick one off the text line, and if I can find it real quick, is that what we were asking earlier? What's the Wednesday worry if you have one? And I'm just going to paraphrase because we got so many texts that come flying in, but basically what he's worried about, or he or she is worried about, is that last week fast start and then you fall flat. This week slow start, fall short. Don't know. But
I don't know either, but I can tell you this. By the time Friday rolls around this show, we are all going to be saying on every show in this station, you cannot afford to lose that game.
No.
You lose that game, and you are in deep trouble.
And let's make this to 10-10 take real quick, and then you can respond to this because this is how I'm looking at this game. Shouldn't, but this is how I am.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Sonny's Barbecue, they always got great menu items. The protein, it's outstanding. Ribs, chicken, pork, turkey, brisket. We can go on and on and on. The hot links, just on and on. And then all those great sides that you can enjoy with it. So if you're starting to think about your tailgate, lunch, dinner, whatever it might be, make sure it's Sonny's. I'm going to make this a Duval versus Deshaun week because I think that's what it is.
Why not?
You should always look at it as it's your team versus that team. And I try and pull myself away from just going quarterback on quarterback. But this is a Duval versus Deshaun. And if you saw Deshaun play this last weekend against Dallas, he looked like a shell of his former self, a wreck, okay? You better beat that guy. There's no flipping excuse if you come out of the bank without making a deposit and picking up a dub. Because you are playing a bad quarterback that's getting paid a hell of a lot of money, but it's Duval versus Deshaun. That's the 10-10 take. You better come away.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the anecdote you saw when you were watching the anecdote with the offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah. I was watching. I can't remember where I was watching it, but I was strolling through social media or whatever, and on the sports section. And I guess Deshaun fumbled the ball or something to that capacity, and there was an offensive lineman that recovered it. And Deshaun tried to reach his hand out to help the lineman out, and the lineman slapped his hand away. I mean,
that's not good. There's nothing about that that's good.
No, because listen, the offensive line is a mirror image of how the quarterback plays. And if the quarterback plays bad, most of the time the offensive line is going to get all the grief for it. So, but I agree with you with Deshaun. He's on the ropes.
Yeah,
he's on the ropes, and we've had a history of bad player resurgence when they play us. Don't need that on Sunday.
Yeah,
he's
don't
on the
allow
ropes. No, we don't.
He's not even. It's not only that he's on the ropes. Like some of the throws he made in that game. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's not even close.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the stats pulled up here, but the yards per attempt, it was an ugly mess when it was all said and done.
There was one out throw that he threw that every quarterback in the NFL and college football can throw, and he threw it into the sideline. It was so bad.
Yeah,
wasn't remotely catchable.
And you are talking about two guys that came out with one of the higher grades pass rush combo of Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon. And RJ sent this to us earlier. Jaguars were the only team to have two linebackers with an 80-plus PFF grade in week one. So not only did you have Trayvon get a couple sacks, Hines-Allen, they might have given him a little more attention, but those two guys should be able to get to Deshaun Watson. But anyway, Devin Lloyd and Foye Oluokun both graded over 80 according to PFF. That's good. That's a good start, what we saw defensively from this football team.
Yeah, man, listen, the Cleveland Browns offensive line struggled at home against the Dallas Cowboys pass rush. So, I mean, you can imagine, being on the road, silent count, with the noise and the fans, they should struggle again this Sunday.
All right, yeah. Love it. All right, keep it going. We will roll until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Don't forget, noon to 2 tomorrow, XL Primetime on the road. Lifetime Flooring, Lifetime Enclosures will be over there hanging out as they get ready for another big sale. So make sure you stop on by.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Duval. Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for the Jaguars 2024 home opener when they go head-to-head with the Cleveland Browns. Join us as we celebrate Hispanic heritage and take the field at Everbank Stadium for the first time during our 30th season. Lock in your seats now for the 1 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber Wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. With 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, Garber Wiggle.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. To the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter in for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
This is Keith Scott with Veterans Wholesale Cabinets. We are Northeast Florida's cabinet experts and your best option to elevate your home improvement project for both homeowners and contractors, and attention to detail to every project. VeteransWholesaleCabinets.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 11, 1927, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth hits 50th home run during his MLB record 60 home run season in New York's 6-2 loss to the St. Louis Browns.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging, including total body MRI. Early detection is the key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day.
don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Don't be sidelined from an injury that keeps you out of the game. Get the care the pros receive. Now available at Injury Care Centers, newly FDA regenerative treatments that will significantly shorten your recovery time. Sprains, strains, fractures, post-op surgeries, cut your recovery time in half or shorter. Masking pain just makes it worse. Fix it now. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson this morning on his confidence that Travis Etienne Jr. will bounce back this week after the costly fumble against the Dolphins.
One, he's self-motivated. Two, he and I spoke even during the game Sunday and then afterwards, and I just reassured him that we're going to continue to give him the football, and I think that's the next best thing is to get him right back on that horse, as they say, and keep feeding him the ball. And I don't want him to be tentative, cautious. I still want him to attack, be aggressive, and just learn from it.
Doug Peterson this morning on his confidence in Travis Etienne Jr. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, my takeaway is this team cannot go 0-2. Whatever you need to do, whatever you need to assess on this Wednesday, the preparation, the accountability, the intensity needs to be full-fledged on this Wednesday.
You're early on that.
I'm just saying, bro. Start now.
I was going to say it was going to be Friday, but he's early.
No, early.
I got to ask you
Wednesday.
this one question in your takeaway. Have you ever been 0-2?
Never. I've never been 0-2 my whole career. I've either started 1-1 or 2-0.
Could you even imagine what 0-2
No,
was
I can't. I couldn't sleep at night.
See, but that's the difference. Like, you couldn't sleep at night. I'm not sure it means that much.
They lose and go party.
That's...
stay in your era.
Right, stay in your era.
So, my takeaway is You get an early lead. Sean limps off for one reason or another, and Jameis comes in.
Oh, here comes Jameis.
Here comes Jameis. Just like here comes Flacco.
Well,
whatever's got to be done, you got to win that game.
Exactly. And this is a team that looks. My takeaway: this is a team that looks better. It looks better,
yes, for
and
3
it
quarters
lost.
it looked really good, actually.
Yeah, and it lost. And so now, if you're going to look better, you have more weapons, you have things that you needed to get over the hump. Now, basically, do with it what you will. That's how you're going to be defined. Classic. Your record is what it says. Your record is what it says you are. And so they have better talent. They look better for a lot of that football game. Now you got to make sure you get the actual stat that counts. That's the dub. That's it more than anything else. All right, real quick. We're going to get ready for the Frangie Show. We're going to be out at Lifetime Flooring, Lifetime Enclosures tomorrow at noon. So we'll be definitely doing a lot of Jags, a lot of college ball then. But right now, I always like to love on my high schoolers. So let's do it.
Let's hit the high school football scene on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Gatorade Water. All-day hydration for today's top athletes. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie.
We say thanks to Gatorade Water, I-9 Sports. They bring you our high school hit. Let's just hit some of the high notes from last week and get ready for some big ball games that are coming up. We will definitely look forward to Friday. Now, if we look back at week 3 of the high school football season, Bartram Trail starting things off with a big win Thursday night over Ware County, including going for 2 in overtime instead of trying to tie it up. You know what that takes? That takes some stones, and I give them a ton of credit because they end up going for 2, getting the job done, and coming away with the win. As a matter of fact, Bartram has our Gatorade Player of the Week, running back Arthur Lewis. How about this number? 224 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns over a good Ware County team in Georgia, and they win 43-42 in overtime. So congratulations to Arthur Lewis, our Gatorade Player of the Week. A few other ones. Trinity Christian taking on Reigns. Vikings end up winning big in the Graveyard. They're up to 3-0. They got a big game coming up Friday against Daytona Beach Mainland. Mainland shut them out last year on the way to a state title, but Mainland 0-3 to start this year. Going in the opposite direction. Oakleaf picking off Lemon Island, last play of the game in the end zone to steal the win. So that was a big one for Derek Cipoletti. 17-13 final there. Mandarin smoking Sandalwood. They shut them out now on the road to take on Bradford. The Tornadoes are 3-0 as well. That's going to be a big matchup.
See what Jamie's defense can do against Mandarin, huh?
Both were playing for trophies late last year, and so Mandarin versus Bradford is going to be, as honestly, one of the bigger ones. Another big one, and at least it could be building into that, Nice versus Beachside. That's on both sides of US 1. I roll up and down Phillips Highway all the time, so they got both of them covered, the SJC. That's going to be, I think, building into a nice rivalry, Nice and Beachside. St. Augustine and Bowles, that was canceled last week with all the rain. The Yellow Jackets have Riverside Friday. That also should be a good game. Generals running past the Raiders of Orange Park last week. Miles Kendrick, highly recruited player, really, really good player. St. Augustine's going to have to account for him. By the way, you'll hear Bowles and Bishop Kenny on the Superstation, followed by Friday Night Lights with Hack and Gibby, and that's where they'll give out the Gatorade Player of the Week award. A couple more. Nice and Fletcher, a combined 5-0. They tangle Friday night. How about St. Joe's? The Fighting Flashes.
What do you guys, 1-1?
4-0.
4-0?
4-0. Big winners over Old Plank. So I'm just going to shout out Cash Forbich because they're getting it done. I don't know if it'll keep going. Yeah, I think they've got Eagles View this week. So anyway, we'll grab it.
4-0?
Yes.
When was the last time you guys were 4-0?
Who the hell knows? It's been a long time. Maybe when Al Cooksey was coaching them up. I don't know, but it's been a minute.
That was that Bartram win. Very good. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ware was like nationally ranked, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. But Ware County came in with credentials.
Yeah.
And Bartram was up big in that game, and then Ware came storming back, and they ended up. Son-in-law teaches over at Bartram, and there was some atmosphere there. And like we said, the young man goes and trucks for 224 yards. That was good. All right, Gatorade Water, don't forget, proven fuel for high school athletes. You can find it at your local Winn-Dixie, as they always want to support high school sports on the First Coast. And i9sports.com, we say thanks to them. You can log on because they have winter and spring registration already starting to happen. They've got all their fall sports rolling right now, i9sports.com. all over the First Coast, Clay, St. John's, and Duval. You can definitely check that out.
The XL Primetime High School Hit. Brought to you by I9 Sports. Log on to i9sports.com and get your kid in the game.
All right, we mentioned Lifetime Flooring. We'll be there tomorrow, so let's go to the text line brought to you by Lifetime. And this one says, I'm with Matt. Team's full of excuses. The coach needs to look at himself first. His offense scored 0 points in the second half. Defense held the Fins to a reasonable score for this team to beat them. Quarterback needs to saddle up his horses and lead this team. He was paid too. What's his nickname?
I-275.
And so, look.
What's he doing Thursday, by the way, with his hair? What this rumor he's going to get his hair cut or something? Might Samson it. I don't know. We'll find out. But there is a rumor out there. All over X, all over social. I hope
have no
he's
idea.
giving that to the Wigs for cancer patients. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great if he did that because you could donate that and definitely will go a long way.
He's got some nice locks, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Will he play better?
I'm worried.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I care about.
Like this game, even though we might be able to say a couple things about what Trevor needed to do, like get out of the pocket at certain times, he made enough plays. Even though he only attempted 21 passes, he made enough plays to win this football game. It was only – you don't think so?
I don't agree. The reason why I don't agree with that is because I saw Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Josh Allen say, you know what? We're down by 17. Get on my shoulder. I'm going to show you how to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I got to leap. I got to jump. I got to fall. I got to throw, whatever I need to do. I mean, I would just love to see Trevor just say, hey, listen, I'm going to carry this team. Because he's only going to go as far as we're only going to go as far as he takes us. And at some particular moment, at some particular time, he's got to just be able to say, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to take all the emphasis and say it upon myself that we're going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see him take over the games like I see a Josh Allen do. And Josh Allen's an elite quarterback. He's absolutely. And then they had the survey. They asked the NFL players who's the most overrated quarterback, and they had him number one. Really? Come on now, stop it.
Look, I agree with it because I've maintained that Josh Allen, while he makes a mistake, he does give it away. He makes up for it.
That's what I'm saying.
And the combined scoring that he does on the ground and through the air, he will take a team on. And both he and Kyler Murray were trading pretty good the other day. It was Arizona going up early. And
listen, I saw that from Trevor in 2022. Down the stretch. Who was playing better than him? Running the ball.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball. I mean,
we saw him take off and run once when he made the quick decision to get out of there and for a first down. He took off, and I just want to see more of that. I think we will, but I do want to see more of that.
He was a dude at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Like anybody who watched him was like, whoa, all right, this dude he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just, I think he played well for 3 quarters. I do last weekend. And again, you cannot let one play completely just derail everything you've done.
No.
And they did. And that's you could blame part of it on him. That's fine. I don't mind that at all, Leon. All I'm saying is that entire team collapsed. It wasn't just him.
You can't be that fragile. You can't be that fragile.
I mean,
that's the way this team looks.
If the tag team fragile fits,
bro, that's the way this team. That's the way this team looked when that fumble. It looked fragile. They couldn't do anything.
All right, RJ, I'm going to get you to pull up number 4 from Trevor because I do think it's worth playing because he, like I said, I don't need him necessarily to take the blame, but I do like for him to want to basically say, we need to take ownership of this. We are going to be a better football team, and he feels like they should have won that football game. But anyway, he talked about the bad plays against Miami.
There's probably 2 plays that stick out to me. Early in the game, it was like a 3rd and 23 or something. I should have just checked it down. Probably don't get the first down, but taking care of the ball, doing the right thing. I tried to kind of fit one in early to Evan that hit off the safety's hands. Like that's when I went back, and then the second down, that last drive, we were in empty again. I just tried to accelerate my read a little bit too much, and should have just stuck to my rules and took an easy completion and kept it in 3rd and manageable, and tried to scramble and went right into a game with the DN. So that sack's on me. I kind of ran right into the game that they did up front. So those are the 2 main plays, honestly, that I feel like I went back and that I could have done something better with.
And Evan Ingram on the other side, if you're interviewing him, he needs to make sure he pulls it in. But I don't know how much, at least Coach Campo didn't feel like Miami's defense was trying to take a ton away in terms of like whatever bracketing Evan Ingram. He didn't think they were doing that.
He's not the only one. I mean, if Trevor could make that drop in the bucket in between cover two, Kirk's got to catch that ball, man.
Yeah,
he just has to.
Well, that was another question. Y'all see Kirk bouncing back this week or feeding him a little bit more. Doug did talk about remaining confident in ETN. Same thing with Kirk. Kirk needs to make those plays.
Yeah, but he was being kind with that sack on me. That sack was on him. They gave up that pressure.
Yeah,
left side.
Yeah, they did.
Being kind.
They did.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to see him, boom, get out of there quicker. But, yeah, they didn't make it easy for him. Let's not make it easy for this next guy.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Tough questions for the embedded and shredded. We don't make it easy on
You
us.
ever notice how he always sets you up as you walk in?
I mean, this is my guy right here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just going to go tough question, Hayes. Like Hayes had a tough question.
I've
for
already
Doug.
told Joe, my eulogy is in your hands. You are my designated guy.
How could it not?
How will remember Hayes Carlisle? And then it'll just take off from there.
Yes.
It'll be a rant after that. But
just have fun. That's all I'm asking. At my funeral, have fun. Don't cry. Just have a good time.
We are going to live it up.
Yes, that's what I want. Have fun.
Here's
Liquor
a straw.
flowing.
Here's a straw. Now stir that
Laughing.
drink. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Rock music,
Yes.
the whole thing. I hope it's the greatest party you've ever been to.
I promise you that.
I am starting to visualize it. I don't know if I'll be there, but I am starting to visualize it. All right, so you did ask the tough question to Doug earlier, after the game, after the loss, and he kind of bristled at it a little bit. But what we played from Trevor earlier, you were at the presser, they do need to get a little angry over the fact that they let an important game slip away.
That's the thing is it's just you only get so many of these and to give one away like that, now you've got to kind of go steal one yourself, and this team hasn't shown that, in their DNA over these last 7 games. So, whether it starts Sunday, I mean, hopefully they can just beat Cleveland and they don't really necessarily need to steal one, but yeah, as you get to Buffalo on a Monday night, as you get to Houston, coming up later this month, you need to steal one back. The Jaguars need to even this out at some point this season where you feel like, boy, they kind of got outplayed and it was probably like a kind of a C- level game for them. But, look, at the end of the day, they won 17-16 and that's all that counts. So, you're now -1 in that factor, and it's a big factor. That will definitely determine who makes the playoffs and who does not. So hopefully they can bounce back. So, yeah, we'll have all that coming up on the Frangie Show. Brett Hastings will join us for Sports and Courts. We'll also have our State Farm College Football Report talking Gators, Knowles, and Canes. And I had an opportunity to catch up with Gabe Davis, the Jaguars receiver, just about half hour ago in the locker room. So we will play that as well coming up on the Frangie Show.
Love that guy. He made an instant impact. So
I'm impressed.
Yeah, love it. All right, hey,
thank you guys.
Frange, JJ, they got it coming in just a moment. I threw the wrong team in there earlier. I got excited about the SJC. Ponte Vedra and Beachside are playing this Friday. Nice and Fletcher are going up against each other. They're combined 5-0. So
Get fired up about your high school football.
got it mixed up just a little bit. Those northwest and northeast parts of St. Johns County, I get them mixed up a little bit. All right, we are done. The Golf Club of Southampton on 210. They know a little bit about all those high schools that are churning out athletes left and right. You take a look at that whole corridor, man. They're just chock full of high schools. But we are done. We say thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. You can definitely find them online, golfsouthampton.com, with great specials, twilight rates after 3P. You can get on out there and enjoy. And don't forget their football specials on game Saturday, game Sunday. 10 wings, pitcher of beer, great deal after your round of golf. Make sure you enjoy it at the Golf Club of Southampton. We're done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Sirs, RJ. We will talk to you at noon tomorrow at Lifetime Flooring and Lifetime Enclosure.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.